Hi, my name is Sarah Cogan, and today we're going to be making a pot holder. For this project, you're going to need about a 1/4 yard of fabric. You're also going to need about a yard of bias tape, some tracing paper, some tracing wheels, a clear ruler, a pencil, a seam ripper, a pair of good scissors, some straight pins, and some push pins to pin your fabric and your pattern together. So I'm going to take my tracing paper, I'm going to put the wax side down, and I'm going to take my pattern and I'm going to lay it down as well and try to get it as close to the edge of the fabric as possible. I'm going to begin pinning. So now that we've laid out our pattern, let's go ahead and start tracing it out with our tracing wheel and ruler. So now that we have traced our pattern, we're going to go ahead and start cutting it out. Our next step is to pin them together. We're going to quilt them together, so you want to put your pins all throughout. So once you have pinned your two pieces together, we're going to go ahead and lay out our grid for quilting. I'm going to run my quilt on the diagonal. I'm going to give myself a line with a pencil. We're now ready to go to the machine, and we're just going to do a straight stitch along our lines. So once you have quilted your pot holder, go ahead and grab your bias tape, and you're going to open it up, and you're going to line up one of these creases here with your side seams. So to mark my corners with my bias tape, I'm going to pin diagonally into it to give me a line to fold my bias tape around. So once you have finished going all the way around your square, you're going to want to leave the excess tail just kind of hanging off, and you're going to want to sew it as close to your starting point as possible. So once you have finished sewing your pot holder to your bias tape, the next step is then to trim off the extra seam allowance of your pot holder, and you want to line it up to the extra seam allowance of your bias tape. You're going to also want to make sure that you trim off your corners to allow the bias tape to easily fold over them. So once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and start pulling your bias tape right over it. Once you reach the corner of your pot holder, you're going to want to ease your bias tape around it, and I would suggest working from the center of the corner and easing your way out. Once you reach the end to where your tail is, you're going to want to flip it over the start of your bias tape to encase it, and then you want to pin all the way along it. And the reason we're doing this is we're going to sew right on the edge of our bias tape all the way around the pot holder, and then continue it down our tail, ending at the end of the tail. So you're going to go ahead and take your tail, and you're going to make a little loop with it, and you're going to pin it down against itself. I'm going to go ahead and do that in this corner. And then our next step is just to give a little tack right across here and here. And then we'll have created our loop for our pot holder. So once you've finished tacking down your loop, it should look like this, okay? And you're done. We've created a pot holder. Thank you for sewing with me today, and I hope you enjoy your pot holder.